Alright, I got a lot to cover in this video. This is part 2 for my good friend Me Have No Name. It's basically giving him some tips on how to lose some body fat. If you haven't seen the first video, I'm going to try to put a link in the description. You guys can check that out. It's very important if you're actually interested in changing your lifestyle or your body or whatever you want to do. Summer's coming up. You want to look good in that bathing suit. You really have to watch the first part of the video because it's just as important as this part. This part is really going to cover the fitness or the exercise portion of it. The last was covering nutrition as far as food. No, it's not some gimmicky diet because I don't believe in those. I don't think they work. And honestly, I just don't feel like giving people BS. I want to give you guys the facts, and I want to give you guys what I know works for me and what I've seen work for people. So I'm gonna jump right into this because like I said, I have a lot to talk about. First things first, though, I want to remind you guys what you are exactly asking your body to do and what you need to understand about this process, because it is a process. It's not going to happen overnight. The first thing is, do not get discouraged if you do not see results right away. You probably won't see results for the first month. That's normal for people. Your body is still kind of flushing itself out. It's getting adequated to it, and it's just kind of getting regular again. It's getting back into equilibrium. So if you don't see any results for the first month, do not worry. It's the second month really where you're generally going to see a lot of the changes. The next thing is, do not push yourself too hard, especially if you're a beginner. You need to make sure that you take the breaks that you need to take. You need to make sure that you kind of give yourself rest every once in a while. You do not want to overtrain. Overtraining is going to lead to one thing and one thing only, and that is injuries. Debilitating injuries to the point where you can't train anymore. I don't want you guys to pull a muscle. I don't want you guys to tear a ligament. It's just something very nasty that you should never, ever, ever have to experience. And I've never been injured while working out, and that's because I've always taken rest. It's very hard for me sometimes because I feel like, oh, I can keep going, but I know I need rest sometimes, and you guys need to do the same thing. So without that, and with that out of the way, again, I want to remind you guys, you're asking your body to do a lot here. You're asking your body to get rid of fat. For some of you, you're asking your body to get rid of fat, and you're asking your body to replace that fat with lean mass. And I don't mean you're going to become like some big old Hulk bodybuilder, blah, blah, blah. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the lean mass on your body is the healthy muscle that you really, it's quality muscle, honestly. Quality over quantity is the way I feel about muscle, and I will never change my opinion on that ever again. I used to be one of those guys who wanted to be huge and all muscular and stuff, and it just wasn't the way that things were supposed to be. It's not the way I'm made. Some people are. I'm just not made that way. You may be made that way. You might be someone who is just big naturally. Then you know what, dude? Deal with the gifts that you have, because it is a gift. It is a gift. Trust me, because I guarantee you're going to walk into a room and some guys are going to be like, I wish I was as big as that guy. You just have to realize that for a second, okay? I want you guys to realize that the way you are is the way you are, and it's perfect. Nothing wrong with the way you are. If you're a bigger person, you're just bigger. If you're smaller like me, if you're a lanky person, you're just lanky. That's just the way you are. So deal with the gifts you have, alright? I don't want to see anybody trying to fight their genetics too bad. I mean, it's just something that we don't need to do. It's not safe, honestly. It's really not. But I'm going to stop giving you guys the freaking Dr. Phil spill, and I'm going to move on. It's a very tough thing to have your body lose body fat. It's a very tough thing to lose weight. The body doesn't like it. Like I said in the last video, it's a survival mechanism. The body is willing to give up water before anything else. You could lose water weight in a week. You could lose a matter of like 10 pounds in 1 week from water weight. Honestly, if you ate clean enough and you drank enough water, it would be flushed out. And if you sweat enough, lean mass is the next thing. It likes to get rid of muscle. Actually, the body tends to feed off of muscle when it doesn't feel like it's adequately nourished. So, you know, those diets, those crazy diets where people are losing like 10 pounds in 1 week and 15 pounds in 1 week and blah, blah, blah. All that crap that you hear on the TV, yeah, that's a lot of water and muscle that they lost, and it's not the mass that they want to lose. Another thing is, fat is the last and absolute last thing that your body likes to give up. Number one, that's energy stores, and number two, that's a survival mechanism right there. That is the damn survival mechanism that makes it so tough for a lot of people to lose that weight. And what it is it's our body really gearing up for a famine. Even though, you know, we don't have that threat anymore, we have had that threat in the past, and so our body still has this thing built in where it's like, well, I need to prepare for a famine, so I'm going to latch onto this fat, especially if your body feels like it's not eating enough. Your body will actually just be like, well, I'll get rid of all the protein stores, but I'm keeping this fat because this fat's going to keep me insulated and it's going to keep my energy up. So just realize that for a second. With working out, you need to understand a few things. Number one, you need to understand the level of fitness that you're at. Maybe you're a beginner. Maybe you've never worked out in your life before, and I'm going to take care of you in this video. Maybe you're someone who's kind of you know, kind of versed in working out a little bit, but just doesn't really have the direction yet, I'm going to help you in this video. And then maybe you're that advanced person, you're in really good shape, or maybe you're in pretty good shape, but you're just a couple steps away from being in really good shape. And I'm going to help you in this. But the first people that I really want to focus on are the people who are barely beginning. People out there, some of you may not even want that six-pack thing or the crazy freaking abs that you see on TV. Maybe you just want to look a little bit better because summer's coming up. The weather's going to get a little warmer pretty soon. And you know, you want to look a little better in t-shirts and shorts, right? Well, the best thing that I can give to you people, especially the people who haven't worked out ever, is try walking. You'll be surprised, actually. Walking is probably some of the best exercise that we can give our body. It is so good for our legs, and it is so good for our digestion. I don't want to get nasty on you guys for a second, but it just makes things flow better, if you know what I mean. It gets the blood going, and it just, honestly, it helps your heart too. It's a great cardio workout. It's amazing, actually. It's actually something that I should do more often. I should actually take walks more often. It actually calms you too. If you like, put your iPod on and go walking around your neighborhood after you eat dinner or something. It is so relaxing, and it'll calm you down. It is amazing. But one thing I do want to tell you guys is walking is cool, but try to turn that into something else. Try keep going gradually. You know, have that graduate into a jog or a run or something. You know, make the distance longer here and there. Make the time longer, because then that's when then you won't plateau, and you'll get in better shape in the meantime. And it actually you won't even notice it, because you'll be building like building blocks kind of. A very important thing for anybody who runs, walks, or anything like that, it requires you to put your feet on the ground. You need to make sure that you have the right type of shoes. Whether that be that you're doing Insanity like me, or you're just walking after dinner with your grandparents. You need to make sure you have the right feet, or the right footwear on your feet. I want to show you guys some shoes that I wear, and hopefully, you know, you guys can find some that are working for you. But the first pair that I want to show you is just the pair that I do Insanity in, and these right here are the Nike Free 7.0s. They're actually really they're jacked up. You could tell, like, they've been through a lot. These are my shoes that I do Insanity in. They're very light. They're just light. They're ridiculous. It feels like they're not even on my feet. But they're good because they have a good layer of shock absorption. They absorb the shock, and I'll actually show you where that's at on the next shoe that I'm going to show you guys. The next shoe that I like to you know, wear this is my walking shoe, just when I'm walking around town, or just my casual wear. This is one of them. I have a white pair of these also. These are well, I'm trying to get these on the camera. Okay, these are the Nike Free Runs. Yes, I know, I love this line of shoe. It's like, I'm not some Nike sponsor or nothing like that. I love these shoes. It's amazing, because look at this. You see that? The shoe actually bends the way your foot does. So if like you're walking, the shoe's actually going to bend that way. And it's amazing. And honestly, the first time I wore these shoes, because I wear these just to walk around it. And these are very good for walking around because they actually feel like you're barefoot. And that's the way your body's actually meant to walk. It actually hits muscles in your legs that don't normally get hit. These are made for running also, and the reviews, a lot of the runners say that they love these because not only are they so light, but it feels like they're barefoot, and it's really amazing. But the thing I want to show you guys was the shock absorber. Okay, so do you see, it's actually very hard to see in the video, but it's right here. It's this little layer right there. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's probably very hard to see because the shoe's black, but there's a layer right there. It kind of looks like it's made out of rubber. And what it does is it actually absorbs all the shock when you're walking, because you do have shock, and it sends it up to your knees and your joints and whatnot. So make sure you get the right pair of shoes. And the last pair of shoes that I wear, and these are really for when I want to go for a run on some rough terrain that really the shoe needs to be able to handle it. These are my Asics. These are the Gel Pulse. These are really good shoes. These actually are probably the most expensive of all of these. But I wear them the least, which, you know, kind of doesn't make sense anymore. I bought these actually after I got done with P90X because I thought I was going to be running a lot more than I am. But these are for when I get that wild hair and I just want to go out for a run. I use those because the terrain that I run on is pretty crazy and it's a little rough. But as far as footwear, just make sure you have the right thing and make sure you buy the right size. A lot of people don't take into account that your feet actually swell up when you're working out. So you have to make sure that your shoes are big enough to handle that swelling. Otherwise, you're going to get nail damage, like I do, because I was stupid and I didn't get the right size when I originally started working out. And you don't want to have slave feet. It just doesn't look good. It's not a good look. But like I said, walking, running, those are great. People who are kind of versed in working out, you know that weight training is very important, and for beginners it's very important too. But there's really two things about the muscle mass that you need to understand. Number one, you need to understand that you're getting the type of muscle mass that you want, because there are two types, and you need to make sure that you're flexible enough to be handling all this. Flexibility is probably more important than muscle strength any time of the day, because flexibility is muscle strength. If you're not flexible, your muscles aren't going to be able to handle as much. I know that I can handle a lot now because I'm a lot more flexible than I was 1 year ago. So, you know, just make sure you're flexible. Practice your stretching. There's great stretching videos out there. If you get a stretching video, honestly, I would recommend that like crazy. Try some yoga out. Try something that you haven't tried before. You know, flip it up a little bit. Not only will that confuse your body, but it'll actually have you burn more because you're not used to it yet. We actually burn less as our body gets used to stuff, so you want to kind of flip it up with your body. You don't want to plateau. You ever see the guy in the gym and he's just yelling in the corner, and he has this heavy weight on his set, and he's just yelling, and he's going crazy, and his form's all bad, and his elbows are out on the curl and all that stuff. You don't want to be that guy. You want to be controlled when you work out. You want to be smart. And you just want to be collected. You want to be safe. You don't want to get injured. This is the biggest thing about this whole thing, is be injury free. I know for a fact that the person that asked me to make this video, I know that he works out at his school gym. The thing that I want to tell you is, if you have access to a weight training facility, try this out. This is a cool idea. It's called cardio lifting. And what I mean by this is, you know how when you weight lift, you do your set, and then you take a break, you know, and then you do another set, you take a break. Try to get a workout partner who can keep up with you. Get a workout partner and you guys switch off machines. Just switch off. But it has to be a different body part every time. Switch off and do it quick. Do it quick. What this will do is, not only will it get you in better shape, it'll make you more flexible, but it'll also make your body better in any way. It'll make your endurance better, and it'll make you stronger, because you'll be used to, not only will you be used to pushing yourself when you're fatigued, but over time you're going to get better at that, and that's going to make you better at anything you could think of, especially sports. But that's really for the intermediate people. Intermediate people, you guys kind of have an idea what to do, you just don't have direction. Which ties in with the people who want to be advanced. If you're an advanced type of guy, but you need to lose body fat, there's only one way you're going to do that, and that's pretty much the only way. Your cardio has to be good enough. Cardio has to be good enough to the point where you're breathing hard. You need to be lack of oxygen. You need to have your blood pumping. You need to feel fatigued. You need to feel like you're about to fail. I'm not saying you have to do insanity. I'm not saying you have to buy some program. You could do this with the treadmill. You could do this with the sidewalk. Honestly, you could. What you have to do is you kind of have to burst train. Burst training is an amazing thing. It's very difficult, but it's an amazing thing. You go at a higher speed or a higher rate than you normally would for a while, then you take a little break. Then you go at the higher speed or the higher rate, and then you take a little break. You just have to pump up the action, make it more intense. Not only will this make you sweat more, but it'll make you burn more. And when you're burning more, your body gets hot. Your body just basically starts melting that fat away. Which is very difficult, like I said, but in order to make a change this drastic, you have to train drastic. It's just what you have to do. But like I said, safety first. So, you know, if you're ever caught in a cardio workout, whether it be interval training, whether it be running on a treadmill, whether it be on the elliptical machine, if you ever feel at any time that you're lightheaded or you're just pushing yourself a little too hard, do not be afraid to take that break. Just chill for a second, pause, take a deep breath, and then gather yourself and continue. Because honestly, it's much better to take that break and pause than to get injured and having to take days or weeks off. It's much more effective that way. And last but not least, because I don't want this video to be too long, but the thing that you want to take into consideration when you're working out is you need to do some strength training, some form of strength training. Because if you just do cardio all the time, you're going to get this thing that I like to call the water balloon effect. And I don't know if you guys kind of saw that in, it's actually my before pictures for P90X in the video. And I had like this, kind of like this, my figure was cool up here. I can't even get my hands situated correctly for this. But it's kind of like my body went out as it went down. And it looked like I had like big old thighs or something. Basically what that is it's all your body is just sinking down. You don't want that going on. You want to be even, you want to be stable. So some form of weight training is very important. You do not need weights to weight train. I'll tell you this right now. That is a complete lie. People always talk about how you need weights. Weights, yes, are cool, but honestly, I don't use weights when I weight train. I use a chair and I use my hands, and that's it. That's all I use. And a pull-up bar. Pull-ups are freaking hard, though. I hate pull-ups. But you could do dips on a chair. You could do chair dips. And then what I like to do is I like to do a lot of plank work. And plank work actually is pretty cool, and it's something that's very underrated. Plank work, number one, will get you very strong. It'll get you very, your endurance is going to go through the roof if you do plank work. Plank work is basically like a push-up position. So a lot of push-ups, a lot of different types of push-ups. And another thing that you want to really take into consideration is your abdominals. A lot of people like to pitch the gimmick that you work your abs every day or you work your abs before you lift weights. Two things that are completely false. Or actually three for that matter. Never ever work your abs before you lift weights. That's going to take all your strength away. Your core strength is going to be gone and you're not going to have any power. So never ever work your abdominals out before you go in weight training. Another thing, do not work your abs to failure. Yes, you want to feel that burn, but don't do crunches till like you're at the point where you can barely do half a crunch and you're just completely wasted. You don't want to do that. That's not good for the abs either. Number two, do not work them every day. Like any type of working out, honestly, abdominal training, you need to take rest. You can't do it every day. It's not going to work out that way. If you do your abs every day, honestly, it's going to do more bad than it is good. You're going to get faster results and better results if you work your abs, I would say 3 times a week. I never work my abdominals out more than 3 times a week. I usually do it 2 times. I just don't work them a lot. Honestly, I really don't. Core work is something amazing that you could do. If you're in a gym, you could do some cool stuff in a gym, honestly. Do machines, do cables, do free weight, mix it up. Always mix it up, and no matter what your level, no matter how minuscule or how novice you are at exercising, always try to get a little bit of weight training in, because weight training is honestly going to cause your body to have balance. And honestly, when you get muscle mass on your body, you add whether that be lean mass by doing more reps with low weight, or whether that be you want to get really big by having heavier weight with less reps, you're going to cause your metabolism to go up. That's what causes metabolism to get faster. If you just lose fat, your metabolism is not going to get faster, but if you add muscle to it, your metabolism is going to skyrocket. So I hope this video helped you guys out. I hope that you enjoyed it. Leave me some comments, give me some feedback. Me have no name, I hope this helps you, dude. And you know what to do if you ever need any help. For all of you, for that matter, send me a message, leave me a comment, and I mean, please, just don't hesitate. I love helping people, and this is actually just giving me some kind of like just some training for maybe my future job, maybe. So you guys have a nice day, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video.